Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Arsenal are active for only Viktor Gyokerez if they're going to sign a striker this summer. Viktor Osimhen was cancelled off Arsenal's list. He was there, but he was cancelled because of his behavior, attitude, and character. And so was Ivan Toney. In this video, let's dive into: is it enough for us to cancel Osimhen and Ivan Toney based on their character? And it's not discipline really; it's character and attitude. And Viktor Gyokerez, of course, will be diving into some of the latest stories about him. But most importantly, Arsenal have cancelled two strikers on their list because of attitude and because of their character as well. Hit the like button. Let me know in the comment box below. What do you think? Do you think Osimhen's character is too bad that he can't play for Arsenal? I mean, he's been linked with a couple of clubs, Chelsea, PSG, and a couple of others. If PSG could take him, if Chelsea could take him, does that mean that we could have given it a shot? And then Ivan Toney as well. Is it that Arsenal are just afraid, and Mikel Arteta is just afraid of these players that have a lot of dominance and have a lot of say in what they want? He wants a lot of submissive players. Oh, their character is that bad. What do you think? Let me know in the comment box below. Now, Team News Antics has come out and confirmed that Arsenal are only active for one striker, and that is Viktor Gyokerez. As far as I understand, the fan base on this channel is going to be 100% ecstatic. It's going to be 100% happy that we are not looking to sign any other strikers apart from Viktor Gyokerez. Now, listen. I wouldn't really have a problem if Arsenal woke up in the morning, right from January, maybe February, maybe June or July, and they said, we want one striker, and that's Viktor Gyokerez. But as far as I understand, we have had a long list of strikers that the club has been interested in, and some we have left because they're not as clinical and sharp and effective like we wanted. That's a very good reason. Zaxi is not that number 9 that we're looking for. It's not that profile. Solanke is not that effective profile. Again, for 65 million, I don't think Arsenal that would have been good business. So I understand those wins. And then the likes of Benjamin Sesko, he said he wanted to stay. So Arsenal have had a long list of strikers that we wanted, and Osimhen and Ivan Toney were part of that. The reason as to why we're left with Gyökeres only right now is because all the other strikers we wanted have gone to another club, or we have omitted them from the list because of some dubious reason. Now, I understand character and I understand attitude, but the times when I feel it's a little bit too far. Don't get me wrong, for me, I like Gyökeres. And if it is the same situation like Arsenal put up last summer, where we said we want Declan Rice and only Declan Rice, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the manager being decisive and clear with what he wants. And he wanted Rice, and he brought in Rice, and Rice worked very well. He wanted Odegaard, he brought in Odegaard, and Odegaard worked very well. The same with David Raya, the same with Gabriel Magalhaes. So I understand with Arsenal being very picky and being very sensitive and very, selective in who they want. But some reasons, because what if we don't get Viktor Gyokerez and there is a chance to get an Ivan Toney? What if we don't get Gyokerez but there is a chance to get a Viktor Osimhen? Do we pass on those chances because of the character and attitude of the players? I'm not convinced about that, but again, this video is about the discussion. So with Gyökeres, why I think is the perfect fit for Mikel Arteta, he's a younger player with a cooler head. So a player that is not going to ask many questions, a player who's not going to, force the manager into difficult decisions, and a player who is calm, that is not going to react in a ridiculous way, the way Osimhen reacted to the Nigerian national coach. So I understand that's why Gyökeres is on top of the list. Like in terms of scoring goals, also in terms of his profile, he's what Arsenal are looking for, but also in terms of discipline and attitude, he is exactly what Mikel Arteta envisions when he goes out on the market, pulls out his spy glasses, and starts scouting for players. So let's talk about Ivan Toney and let's talk about Osimhen. Today, stories, of course, are still, I watched the internet about Osimhen telling Napoli that he's not going to be staying this summer and that they've told him that they're trying to find a solution in the next 20 days. Now, character or not character, attitude or no attitude, Osimhen is a wonderful market opportunity for Arsenal. He would be a wonderful market opportunity for Arsenal. And this is why he would be a market opportunity. It's 20 days to the end of the window, right? And Fabrizio Romano tweets 20 days to the end of the window. And Fabrizio Romano tweets, Napoli have been informed once again by Viktor Osimhen that he doesn't want to stay at the club he wants to leave, right? It is not going to be any different. So the player actually, as confirmed by the director of the club, he says Viktor Osimhen asked to leave the club. He wants to go. The situation is clear. There were already chances of him leaving last summer. So the reason why I think Arsenal should look at Osimhen as a market opportunity, it is the unrest between the player and the club that is going to drive the price down into a ridiculous amount that no one was expecting. Now, Napoli are wise and Napoli are smart. What they did is they put a release clause on the player's contract in January. And why they did that was to chase away all these optimistic clubs that thought they would come and steal Osimhen earlier on in the window for 60 million or for 50 million. They told them, you're not going to do that. We are going to demand 130. And if you cannot pay the release clause, then you're going to have to go through a lengthy negotiation process. Now, initially, Osimhen had a big chance of joining Chelsea. And that's because, he was wanted by Chelsea, but Chelsea also have Romelu Lukaku, who is wanted by Napoli as top priority. So a swap deal, a player plus cash deal would have been done. Chelsea getting some money, maybe 30 million euros or 40 million euros on top of Lukaku, and the deal would have been agreed. I don't think that's going to happen with Samuel Omorodian, Nicholas Jackson, and Christopher Nkunku all at Chelsea right now. So I don't think Osimhen is going to Chelsea, and PSG have said the moment we can't sell Muani and the moment we can't sell Goncalo Ramos, we cannot sign another striker. We cannot add Osimhen. So you think about Arsenal and you're like, we are the team that, if he wants to play in Champions League football and if he wants to stay in Europe, we are the team in pole position, guys. Open your eyes. We are the team in the pole position to sign Osimhen. We've got every condition. We've got every element needed for us to sign Viktor Osimhen. So if Eddie leaves, Arsenal will need to sign a striker. Kai Havertz can drop in midfield, and Gabriel Jesus pretty much not a striker really. So Arsenal need a striker. Arsenal need number 9, and that's why we need to look at Osimhen as a market opportunity, because unlike Viktor Gyokerez, where Sporting are saying we can sell for the right price, but we might also think about not selling, Napoli have no option but to sell. The players told them, you blocked my move last summer, I'm getting it this summer. I want to go, I want to leave, I want out, and the next 20 days, you've got to find a solution. Just to put this into perspective, 20 days is less than 3 weeks. And during that time, Napoli will have some official games to play. Their season will have started already, and so will other clubs. So I think it's very, very important for us to note that although Viktor Osimhen is expensive, the price can come crashing down within a few days and within a few hours. Especially with Antonio Conte telling Aurelio De Laurentiis, I want Romelu Lukaku. The season is starting. Why am I not getting Romelu Lukaku? And the reason that he can't get Romelu Lukaku is because Napoli cannot move on Osimhen. That's why I'm saying it's a market opportunity. The price is going to come crashing down. Like, this is FTX, this is Bitcoin stuff, this is your kind of, shady stuff, where the price just comes crashing down and who has been a billionaire just becomes, a broke guy. So the price in the Osimhen stock, I can guarantee, is going to come down. Now, I agree with Mikel Arteta and Arsenal when it comes to the combined attitude and um, character problems with Osimhen and Ivan Toney. To be honest with Ivan Toney, I don't have cases in point where I would say Ivan Toney is this bad in terms of his character or isn't this bad in terms of discipline. I think with Ivan Toney, this is what I would say. I think with Ivan Toney, Arsenal were discouraged by the fact that when he came back from that ban from football, he wasn't the same player again, and it was going to take him some time to emotionally overcome that period without football, to emotionally overcome that guilt, trip in his heart, in his mind, because it feels like, and he really, it feels like you let down your team. If Brentford had got relegated that season, the person who would cry the most would have been Ivan Toney, because he knows if he plays football for Brentford that season, they do much better than that if he plays more football for them. So it was always going to take him some time. But I think Arsenal looked at the way he came back, and they looked at his performances, and they looked at the fact that he has had a gambling addiction for quite some time. If you've not had a gambling addiction, I have had one. It takes you some time to overcome. It takes years, it takes hours, it takes minutes, it takes seconds. It drains you. And I don't think Ivan Toney is above or has overcome the gambling addiction. So I think that's what Arsenal have looked at and say, you've been banned from football, not for you to go into therapy to overcome betting. You've just been punished. So you're not actually during his break from football, no one knows. Maybe he placed some bets as well. So Arsenal looked at his gambling behavior and pattern and his performances on the pitch when he came back, and they're like, there's no way we sign this guy. It's going to be a huge risk. And of course, you couple that with Brentford asking for in excess of 50 million. That's why, that is why Spurs have not signed him as well. He's a little bit too expensive for clubs. It's a little bit, if he was around 30, 35 million, maybe clubs would have given it a much better shot. So Osimhen's character is worse, because while Ivan Toney has a gambling problem and some other attitudes problems that we don't know, Osimhen's problem is open for everyone to see. He has had a war online with the office of manager at Nigeria. That is unacceptable. And I've said it before and I say it again. As a footballer, you cannot afford to have a war with the office of manager at any institution that you are playing for. But also, whatever is going on with Osimhen, it really doesn't help his case. His relationship and Napoli, because he's not living in a good situation. He's not living under good circumstances. He's living under weird circumstances. He's living under circumstances that he has demanded to be let go. He has demanded to get out of the club before his contract runs down. So Arsenal, as a club that we know has a disciplinarian in Mikel Arteta, and he's also an authoritarian, you've got to ask the question, does Mikel Arteta see Osimhen as a submissive figure and character? He does not. He does not. But my question again with Mikel is, do we have to have every player submissive? No, not really. I don't think that Kylian Mbappe, because Ancelotti is going to leave Real Madrid at some point in time. So let's say, and this is just case in point, let's say Madrid hire Lopetegui as their next manager. It could happen. Or let's say Madrid hire the current Spanish national team coach, right, Del Fuente, as their manager. Do you really think that Mbappe is going to respect, Lopetegui or Del Fuente as much as Ancelotti or Zidane? No. Definitely 100% no. But Madrid have gone ahead to take the risk to sign a player like Mbappe because they know the benefits when he tightens his boots and, puts up his banners. So I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. For me, we need to deal with star players and we need to deal with superstars as a club. Rice is not a superstar. Odegaard is not a superstar. Saka is not a superstar. I'm talking when you sign like Osimhen, when you sign like Mbappe, Suarez, right? Those kind of superstars. When you're superstar, it comes with a big head at times. And credit to Arsene Wenger, despite the fact that he did have, a few superstars in his team, he always kept the dressing room quiet and maybe happy, maybe not happy all the time, but at least there was order. So I hope that Mikel Arteta is not trying to, block every superstar move because players have a big head and superstars are difficult to manage. But anyway, I'm okay with Gyökeres as well.